Hello, welcome to Psych Minds. If you have not subscribed yet to the channel, do subscribe, like, and share if you like. We are reading In Therapy by Susie Orbach, Case of Richard and Louis. Louis, whatever. This is Richard and Louis's fourth session. Louis is from Hull and Richard is first generation London born, whose mother came from the Caribbean. He's a compact man, 5 foot 7 inches, with striking dreadlocks, leather jacket, and trainers. Louise is the same height. She wears combat boots and a long skirt. Her brown hair is flowy and lush. They are in their early 30s. Louise is about to have a baby, and things have become frayed during the pregnancy. We can hear the tension in their relationship as they climb the stairs. He's coming as Richard. She reminds him he is coming as part of a couple, Richard and Louis. The session usually starts with a skirmish. Louis, hi. Richard, hi, Susie. Susie, hi, come on in. Richard, right. Louis, nice to see you. Yeah. Well, we have got to make sure that we leave on time because we are parked in a really dodgy spot. Richard, it will be all right. It will be all right. Louis, it probably won't be all right, but as long as we leave on time, then we have got more chance. Louis is trying to draw me into a conversation about Richard and what she experiences as a certain kind of casualness or neglect. In this instance, about risking a parking fine. He, for his part, is trying to sush her up. This is the pattern they have shown in the previous sessions. Susie, okay. Richard, relax. Louis laughs. Susie, I'm sorry, I'm not quite getting what's going on between you. Or maybe I am. Richard, no, I just keep telling her to relax, She's just always on at me. Things like the car, I just feel like, she's on my case. I am constantly under attack. Susie, do you think that you might default to feel under attack and that in this instance it might not be more than Louis is nervous? Louis, I am nervous. I am nervous about money, about time. I think these are the essential problems. I am really aware of the fact that I am 8 months pregnant and about to have a baby. In 1 week's time, I will be full term, so the baby could be born then. And yet, you haven't been to a nursery shop with me. You haven't brought anything for the baby with me. All your plans are about time out of the house, and it is making me really nervous. Susie, I think it might help if you, Louis said, I feel instead of you do. That way Richard might be able to hear what's troubling you a little more easily. Louis, I feel like you're leaving everything to me. I feel quite lonely when I'm walking around picking things for our baby. Richard, well, you never walk, so I don't know what you're talking about. You never walk, do you? Louis laughs. I never walk. Richard, you never walk anywhere. You just sit at home all the time. Louis, this is a ridiculous thing to say. When I go shopping, I don't do it online. I go to a shop and I walk around the shop, and that is what I'm talking about. Richard, yeah, because mum helps her pick up all the stuff, doesn't she? Mum's always there to help you out. Louis, I'm not having a baby with your mother. I am having a baby with you, Rich. And actually, I don't know which is the better prospect. Laughs. Richard, why are you making comments like that? What is it? What is the thing with my mum? All she wants to do is help out, make sure that you are not lonely while I'm out there working hard trying to make sure that we keep the wolf away from the door, and you are ridiculing my mom? What is all that about? Louis, I am not ridiculing your mum. I'm just saying that I want to make these decisions with you. I am having a baby with you, not your mum. She is not your substitute, and you shouldn't see her that way. Richard, all right, all right. When you are with a couple, they demonstrate how their relationship is and the ways they interact. It can be quite delicate to work out how long to let the dispute run. It might be that their style is to fight and come to a resolution. It might be that fighting creates distance from one another. It might be that fighting heightens their passion. Or it might be that being criticized and feeling beleaguered is a pattern they have imbibed from their parents' relationship of or how they were treated. There are so many possibilities when a couple is in the room together that I need to watch it for long enough to know the emotional spaces that each one of them occupies, as well as what they psychologically carry for each other. Listening to them zigzagging, it is hard for Lewis's point, at least so far, to be heard by Richard. He gets busy pushing her off the course by criticizing her. In one way, it is simple. You are nagging and hassling me, so I'm going to get back at you. Inevitably, the more she pushes, the further he gets back away and appears obtuse. Richard appears very laid back and Louis rather systematic about what is not right and what she needs attending to. She's sitting forward intently and he's put himself in the far corner of the sofa, legs spread, quasi relaxed, quasi dismissive. Their embodiment mirrors character traits which have psychological significance for them as a couple and each other as individuals. Richard relies on Lewis's list and scolding. He's been responsible from a very early age and very conscientious about earning. He wants to be free of responsibilities that aren't to do with money. Her remonstrations keep him aware of the other things he needs to be doing. She carries his list in her head like an outsourced memory stick. Louise has always loved Richard's more laid back attitude until the middle of her pregnancy. She bathed in it and was able to relax with him. The changes had been has been hard for her as she can't use the laid back part now for herself. It feels too irresponsible. Observing how they divide up their psychological ways of being leads to the question of how the therapist can intervene to reshape those places which they once valued in each other but which aren't working now. My job is to help them walk alongside each other, to amplify their voices to each other so that they can hear one another, rather than be alternately bounced on a seesaw of you are the baddie, no, you are the baddie. Susie, we talked last week about how hard it is for you to imagine being a dad. You are giving Louise your mum rather than giving her yourself. Maybe it will be very different when the baby arrives, but I sense that up to now it feels like it is just a scary proposition. Richard. Yeah, I guess I have been thinking about my dad. Susie. Uh huh. Richard. I mean, yeah, but I am not going to be like him. I mean, I'm not going to disappear like he disappeared. Louis, Richard, you already are. You are not around. You haven't been around. Like, I find it difficult. I find things difficult. I can't even reach my boots to zip them up at the moment because my stomach's in the way. God knows how fat people cope. But you don't help me do these things, do these little things. Susie. So, in other words, Louis, the caring that you used to experience and must have been part of the reason you wanted to have a family together has disappeared. And Richard, you may not be aware that you would spontaneously go towards looking after and looking out for Louis. Louis, that's exactly it. Richard, yeah, maybe. Louis, it's like. Susie, shh, let him think. I have the sense that Louis's understandable grievances are crowding. Richard, she sees it as him running away, but for him to reflect on what she is upset about, Louis needs to back off. Otherwise, we are in a psychological cha cha routine where he retreats, she chases or criticizes, and he retreats further. This maintains the same distance between them rather than the beginning of a coming together. Richard, yeah, I mean the dynamic has changed. It feels like some of the fun is gone, you know. It's I thought having a kid was meant to be fun, you know, and we are meant to be, celebrating this journey. But the vibes I'm picking up all the time just feels passive aggressive. Susie, what about your own vibe inside, Richard? Do you think it's possible that you might be quite a bit more scared than you know, than you are acknowledging to yourself? When working with a couple, you can see the projections they foist on each other. He's making the problems all about her, and she's making them all about him. By asking him to listen to his own vibe, I'm hoping to move him from a defensive attack and rather dismissive position to see what feelings and fears he's dismissing inside himself. Richard, oh yeah. Louis, what are you scared of? Richard, I guess how I'll mess it up. Louis laughs. And as she laughs, she herself becomes dismissive of his fears. She doesn't want to know about them any more than he does. Richard, well, Louis, yeah, but you haven't even started yet. You haven't even. Richard, yeah, but it's kind of like. It's like you kind of. Maybe I'm more like my dad than I realize, maybe. Maybe the feeling I'm having right now are the feelings that he was having. Maybe. Susie, uh huh. Richard, these feelings of destruction I have? Sometimes I just want to tear the place down. Louis, oh my god. Laughs. Richard, I do. I just feel like smashing the place up. Susie, Louis, if Richard is telling you what he's feeling, this is so the two of you can connect rather than for you to jump on him. Richard is showing his fears. This terrifies him. It terrifies Louis. But if both of them can bear it, she will know him better. He will know himself at this moment better, and it will bring them closer. It will redraw and deepen the emotional field between them. It sounds like a simple thing to do, but it is a psychological shift for both of them to hear and bear. The fear is a fear he is anxious about. It is not inevitable that he is or will be like his disappearing father. It is not a reality, it is a worry. Encountering fear doesn't make it bigger or more real. Curiously, it can make it more manageable. Its shape can change and become porous and less monolithic. It's worth engaging with because it will move them into a different and deeper relationship to each other. Louise, for her part, will have to expand her view of Richard. She will have to see his vulnerability. If Louise can hear his fears rather than rubbish them, she will add to his capacity to examine and know them. If he can acknowledge his vulnerability, which he is starting to do by expressing himself, he can begin the process of accepting it in himself, aided by her understanding. Louis, yeah, but it is pretty frightening to hear that you would want to tear the place down. Richard, well, that's how I feel. Susie, what interests me is that when Richard showed you a bit of his vulnerability, Louis, you kind of poo pooed it, pushed it away, or it wasn't good enough. You are wanting more closeness, Louis, and part of getting there may be accepting where he is at and where you are at. Louis, I just feel really far away from him. From you. Richard, alright, but I'm here. I'm looking out for us. I'm not going to run away, am I? The closer we get, I'll get the lads, I'll get the Poles to take over the workload, and I will be with you, and Mum will be there as well. Louis, I don't want your mum there, I'm sorry. Richard, why don't you want my mum there? Louis, because she's not my mum. I don't want your mum at my birth. I don't. Richard, why don't you want her at the birth? Louis, I don't want your mum looking at my vagina, quite frankly. Richard, what's all that about? Louis, it's weird. Richard, why are you saying things like that? What do you mean, like. Louis, well, that's what would be happening. Richard, she's a woman, you are a woman. Louis, I don't want to look back and say there were three of us there. I mean, I just feel it is such a personal thing, and it is something that is potentially so intimate between me and you. Susie, right. Richard, is this you again feeling that your mum is sort of a proxy for something you don't know how to do? Whereas actually what Louis wants is for you to be there with her. I can understand you are not sure you can do it, but I don't think your mum can do it for her or for you. Richard, I will be there. I'll be there. I'll hold her hand. I'll be like, I'll say the thing that I need to say. Louis, yeah, but you see, look at your body language. You're funny about it. What is this? Richard, what is this? Louis, well, you can't even look at me. You have leant forward. You are looking at me like over your shoulder, like I am an imposter. I'm your partner. We made a baby. Richard, yeah, all right. Louis, I want you to stop putting things in the way between me and you. Not your mum, not your business, not your time away, not your checkbook. I just want it to be me and you. Where have you gone? That's what I want to know. Richard, yeah, all right, you're right. I was wishing that I could sush Louis again so that Richard's words could be heard by both of them and they could clear some ground. But now it is Louis's turn to go zigzagging off. Her statement is strong, but timing is all, and I wished I could slow it. Louis, Well, we have come here for therapy and that's really good, Richard. I'm just Louis. He's paying for the therapy and that's really good. Richard, Louis, I see the effort, but where are you? Richard, that's why we are here, right? That's why we are here because I have made the effort and put the thing in place that we can come here and so that we can share what's going on. Louis, but paying for that is not a substitute for intimacy. It's not. Richard, you talk about money because you know it is always going to be there in some way, because I'm always going to be providing it, so that is why you have got such a whimsical view of money. And we are off again. This time it's Richard who can't hear what Louis had said about money being a poor substitute for intimacy. Louis, don't talk to me about being whimsical about money. Susie, okay, so here's what I think. When you get to the thing that needs to be said, one of you goes off. So you were saying something, Louis, about how you want Richard to be there or pointing out he wasn't. He was saying yes, okay, and maybe that yes, okay, his acknowledgement is the thing that you need to hear rather than the two of you escalating it. I think it is a scary moment for both of you and a precious moment for both of you, or a precious time. And I think a little bit more tenderness rather than leaping on each other with how you are disappointing each other is required. Because I sense you are both very disappointed in each other. Richard, yeah, look, I'm going to be more engaged, I'm going to be more present. I just need you to be able to see that sometimes I am blocked. Susie, uh huh. Louis, do you want this baby? Louis isn't able to hear this that sometimes he is blocked. She is impatient with that. She interprets what Richard says as his having gone into a yes mode, which is dismissive rather than being there mode. He is leaned back again into the corner of the sofa. His word seems pro forma. I sense he is not deliberately dismissive but feels out of his depth and troubled. Richard, yeah, of course I want the baby. Susie, what was that actually? Were you trying to say, Louis, I have missed you, or I am insecure, or Louis, I do feel disappointed and I just feel really upset all the time and I feel rejected because it has even begun. I feel it is pushing us apart. The more my belly grow, it is like a wall pushing in the way. I think there is something about her saying a wall pushing in the way that allows Richard to go into a reverie and share what has been troubling him. Richard, I don't know. It's funny, like the other day I was looking through my, just from papers, and I just don't know. I came across my birth certificate. It was a weird moment because, it had my mom's name on it, but it didn't have my dad's name on it. Where it said father, it was just two dashes. I just thought that was weird. It was kind of, I don't know. It felt like it was a sign. Louis, a sign of what? Richard, I don't know. I don't know what. I just felt like it was saying something to me. Do you know what I mean? Susie, that there is a void? Richard, yeah. Susie, where your dad was? Richard, yeah. And so you are not sure, Susie, and you are not sure, and so you are not sure what you have got to bring to your baby and to Louis, and so you go and work like a madman. Richard, yes. Susie, as a way to do something. I am thinking now of how Richard's concern, albeit largely unconscious up until now, about how present and adequate he can be, have turned into being a provider and working for the son to arrive family. He feels himself to be active in response to the forthcoming arrival, so he feels rather put upon by Louis and her definition that she is doing everything. Richard, yeah, I guess. Susie, uh huh. Louis, baby, you're going to be an amazing dad. You're just going to be amazing. You are. You're nothing like that thing, that void, that man. You're not. You don't have to be anyway. Like, that's why we are going always, or we are always going to have kid. It was always going to happen and you were always going to be brilliant. So Louise now has turned her panic and accusation into idealization. And it is true that Richard is in a different place because he has had a chance to say why he is so frightened. We are ending the session with a sense of two different emotional states going on, two different emotional journeys, extreme intensity and preoccupation on both their parts, and the possibility that they might understand what the other is feeling. What is important for the therapist to convey is that being on the same page with the baby doesn't mean having the same emotional response to this event. Louis isn't going to feel as Richard does. Richard isn't going to feel as Louis does. Being on the same page means each having an ear out for the how the other is feeling and each respecting where the other is coming from. In the best of all possible worlds, we might be gently suggesting to each member of the couple to become curious about why of their partner's feeling. Susie. Alright, so Louis. Yeah. Susie. See you next week. Louis. Okay. Richard. Yeah, thank you. Susie. Unless of course. Louis. The baby comes. Richard. Unless of course. Louis laughing. Yeah. Susie. Okay. Richard. Thank you. Susie. Alright. Louis. It's got to wait anyway. We have got to finish decorating the bedroom. Richard. Yeah, I'll get on to that. Don't worry about that. Louis. Thanks, Susie. See you next week. Richard. See you next week. Yeah, thank you. Becoming a parent is momentous. Moving from being a couple to being a parenting couple is challenging. In this session, we have been seeing Richard's concern expressing as flight. Louis's way of coping are focused on getting everything ready for the baby and in trying to get Richard to behave more like part of a couple. Her anxiety is an equally potent force, as is her initial incomprehension about his concerns. But in this session, the focus has been on helping Richard to recognize his fears. Both Richard and Louis bring the imprint of their relationships with their own parents to the pregnancy. Richard's mother has been a very available lone parent who has done everything in the household and looked to Richard to be financially responsible at a young age and to help support her. He has managed that since he left school at 17. Louis has become the next woman he is looking after financially, although not until the last month. Louis's mother was quite controlling of her sibling, and the rest of the family. Her dad was around but disengaged, and Louis's mother would mutter about how neglectful or useless he was. Louis hated her mom's way of being and was drawn to Richard because he was much more laid back and gave her a lot of space. But as she moves into being a mother, the family constellation is stimulated in her. She sees Richard acting like her father, and she has become controlling and full of complaints. She doesn't like it, and we have discussed it. But as her isolation grows, it has become almost a default. In a couple, one sees the trace of the family stories each member emerged from. Often, of course, these are supportive and nourishing. Even so, there may be aspects of their upbringings that they have disliked and have consciously chosen not to reproduce. But when the going gets tough, the difficult bits of the relationship that made them come to they, them can made them can come to the fore. There is no formula in working with a couple. The endeavor is to give each member the extra beat to hear what the other is saying and wanting while becoming clear enough to express what is on their mind, what is on their own mind. The process can illuminate the unconscious entwinements and longings which need addressing. Each couple's story is different and surprises and touches me in unexpected ways. It is the details that I always find enchanting and affecting. Richard's discovery of the two dashes and Louis's bluntness about not wanting his mum in the delivery room, such details create an empathic girl and warmth in me as I get to know them better. 10 months later. This is their first session since Isaac, their son, arrived. He is now 10 months old. Susie. Hello, lovely to see you both. Richard, good to see you again. Susie, congratulations. Richard, thank you, yeah. Susie, come on in. Richard, thank you. It always smells so nice in here. Louis, yeah, it does, yeah. Richard, been a while, but yeah, so yeah, I guess we have hit a brick wall, haven't we all? Haven't we really? Louis, yeah. Susie, how so? Richard, with it's just this whole modern era, isn't it? Of women having a baby, and the next thing you know, they want to take a promotion, to be frank. Richard's tone is modern and slightly depressed. They go at it full tilt. Susie, when Louis rang, she told me that she had gone back to work half time with mum looking after Isaac, and now she's been offered a promotion that's making you uneasy. Richard, Well, already we are not really on the same page. I'm leaving the house at 6:30. I'm at work all day. I'm fitting the kitchens. It's going well. I've taken on a few more staff and whatnot. But I come in and I mean you're already not in. Often Isaac's asleep. I don't really feel like I'm getting a look in. I'm not really involved. You and Mum just chat away like I'm not even there. Louis, but your involvement is your choice. You have to take responsibility for that. Richard, well, it's easy for you because you just start breastfeeding every time he starts crying. Louis, well, that will change if I go back to work full time. He will go on to the bottle. At the moment, you have got options. You seem to not want me to have any options. I've got this promotion. It's a chance for me to succeed in both areas, as a mother and as a professional. Richard, you're going to spread yourself. I think she's going to spread herself thin. I think you're going to spread yourself thin. I'm wondering whether Richard's concern is for Louis, the baby, or himself. It rather feels that his complaint is about their relationship drifting and is losing a grip on what is going on. Louis, at the moment, I have all the responsibility as a parent, and you don't have any. And so, yes, if I am the only parent, then I am spreading myself thin. But if you stepped up in, it wouldn't matter so much that I was at work. Richard, I'm keeping the ship already steady. Louis, yeah, well, you wouldn't. You don't have to. Richard, you say that now, but the work, you never know. Next month, who knows what is going on with Europe? Susie, the first bit of what you said, Richard, sounded like you were missing Louis, and that was happening before the baby came. And now there is something about not feeling included in the family life. Richard, yeah. Susie, and you have gone a bit macho about what's to be what. Richard, macho? Susie, well, you imply she doesn't really earn any money. It's all on your shoulder, whereas it sounds like there is something about neglect or not knowing how to get in there or missing. Richard, maybe, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, there's not much affection in the home anymore. We don't really, we don't have sex anymore. I don't even know the little fella. Susie, one of the things that I was left with right before Isaac arrived was you, Richard, feeling very strongly that there was a void. Richard, yeah. Susie, where a father was. You have got a whole life with Isaac. Louis, Richard, yeah. Susie, and Richard, you are your own boss, and you have got your mom there, and you could conceivably have a few hours with Isaac with your mom, or on your own, or on the weekend, so that this doesn't become so mysterious, and you don't feel this most major thing that has happened in your life, the thing that you created together, doesn't only belong to Louis, it belongs to both of you. Richard's complaint about not knowing how to be with his child or partner is occurring because of the way they have arranged things with Louis and his mother being in charge. If one doesn't relate to an infant, it is hard to know how to do so. What appears mysterious becomes less so only by being with an infant. Richard. Yeah, I mean, I suggest things. Let's go and watch the footy on Sunday. People always take their children to the pub. Why can't we take Isaac to the pub? Why can't we do other things? Why do we always have to be homebound and stuff? And they don't involve me in any conversation, to be honest. I don't know if it is possible, but can men be? Can they be postnatal? I mean, can that happen? Louis, what do you mean postnatal? Richard, can a man be postnatal? Susie, yes, I think so, but you have to figure it out in each family. I miss something here. Richard is flagging up that he is depressed. He's worried about himself. He wants to know if men can get postnatal depression. I've taken it that he doesn't know how to connect with Louis and Isaac and is feeling alone and isolated. Richard, right, well, I don't know. There's something going on. I think I need some one on one. I thought that you would understand where I'm coming from. I don't know. I think I just need to communicate with somebody that actually has some proper kind of empathy towards me. I'm a little confused. I don't know whether Richard is talking about one on one time with Louis or one on one therapy. So I wait to see what unfolds. Louis, you bat me off before I've even got the chance. You have created this wall around yourself. I've got a really special bond with Isaac, but this is purely because I spend 70% of my time with him. The rest of the time I'm at work, and that's only been for the past few months, and I'm just trying to feed myself. If I was to spend every waking hour of the day with him, I would go insane. Going to work has really helped me manage the time that I have with Isaac. If you took some time off work, worked from home a little bit more, took the managerial position that you have, and then just spent a few hours with Isaac? Because otherwise, what happens is when Richard is with Isaac, I am aware that I criticize the way he deals with him, but that's because I know the baby a lot better. The situation is so inflamed that Louise isn't really open to what Richard is frightened of, and Richard is critical of Louise and her desires. We have gone into the practicalities as a way to address their disconnection from each other, which makes some sense. Susie. Yes, Louis, but Richard has got to know. It is like asking the man to do the washing up and then criticizing the way he stacks the dishes, and that doesn't help. What happens on the weekend when you are both around? Louis. Well, we have promises of doing something together at the weekend, but often Richard's work bleeds into the Saturday. Susie. Uh huh. Richard. It can do, yeah. Louis. And so then, the thing is, Isaac starts to get tired around so sort of mid afternoon on a Saturday. Every day he just starts to sort of wind down. And so it's not right. It's not fair to take him to a pub then. Susie, why is that? Louis, when the pubs are really full at the weekend. Susie, what's the problem with him being asleep in a strappy? Louis, well, I just feel that it's not really fair on the baby. Susie, uh huh. Louis, but if it is just us three at home, Isaac, Richard, and myself, then it very quickly becomes claustrophobic because we are not sharing the space very well at all. Richard, we don't. There's no communication, so we will be in the room together and she will be in another world. Lou is in another world with Isaac. I'll make suggestions, and you just ignore me. Louis, but they are completely unrealistic. Richard, you are more interested in my mum than you are in me. Louis, well, your mum is very helpful. Richard, she used to hate mum before. She couldn't stand mum coming around. Louis, I didn't hate your mum. Richard, now she's her best friend. Louis, I didn't hate your mum. Louis, Susie, well, I suppose she's parenting with your mum a bit, isn't she? And the difficulty is how to create the space for Richard to get in and for you to relinquish a bit. But be there so that you can actually have your partnership with Richard. What happens when you are in the space together? Can you describe what happens? What it feels like to you, Louis? Why you don't feel you can go to the pub? Louis, well, I feel that Richard is exhausted and I am exhausted. Susie, uh-huh. Louis, but I haven't got the options of just falling asleep on the couch or, having two big glasses of wine or whatever, because I feel that I am the primary carer for our baby. So I feel like I'm having to be the adult all the time. Richard wants my attention. Isaac needs my attention. I feel like I'm parenting two kids, to be honest. Richard, I just find that incredibly patronizing. Louis, well, you might do, but that's the bare bones of it. Richard, I'm not asking you to parent me. I just need to have, a healthy relationship with the mother of my child. Isaac is all right. He's done well. He's got mum, he's got you, and now you want to bring this alien presence into the home, this kind of foreign au pair into the house, somebody who barely knows our kids, so you can zone it around in whatever country you work takes you do. Louis, oh, your language, Richard. You personally, I think it's a little narcissistic to be fair. Louis, narcissistic to go want to go back to work after 10 months of being home. Richard, I think it is. Yeah, I think to be honest, there is all this. I don't get all this modern kind of woman thing, but you are just so old fashioned. Louis, you are just so old fashioned. Richard, it's not old fashioned. It's just like Louis. It is old fashioned. Richard, look, my mum, she used to run the home. She was the beacon of the home, and there is no shame in that. I don't know why there is shame in that nowadays, that women feel ashamed to actually nurture a child. And Louis, I do nurture our child. Thank you very much. And I don't feel ashamed of just being a mum. But, work's going really well for me at the moment. I was asked if I wanted to interview for this promotion. I didn't go seeking it. And as it happens, I have been offered it. It is an incredible opportunity. All I want is the chance to see how it goes. And it is working really well with Isaac and your mum. And then the rest of the time, we can have him with an au pair or a nanny or nursery. I haven't worked it all out in my head, but why should it be all my responsibility to work out? Why can't you sacrifice your work a little bit? Richard, well, I don't mind taking a day here and there. I'm not saying that I'm completely opposed to it. Louis, oh, you are not. Richard, I am not completely opposed to it. Louis, would you do that then? Would you really do that? Would you really take a couple of days off work a week? Because at the moment you can't even take a Saturday off. Richard, work spills over into weekend. What am I going to do? Louis, yeah, well, my work might as well, but I haven't got the option at the moment because you are not there. I'm supporting you and your professional life. Richard, why are you getting aggressive? Louis, I'm supporting you in your paternal life. I'm getting nothing apart from criticism. I'm sorry, Susie. But that is how I feel. I feel on fire actually at the moment. I feel incredibly capable. Richard, I might as well just move out of the house like. Louis, no, that's not true. Richard, you might as well do it all. Louis, no, I wouldn't do that. Richard, take a promotion, get a nanny too. I tell you what, while you are at it, why don't you put him into public school, private school, put him in there that's till he's what, 15, and then take him out afterwards, see how he's. Louis, oh, don't be ridiculous. You just get into a strop. Richard, so I barely even know what he looks like. Louis, the reason why I'm patronizing, you feel patronized, is because you behave like a teenager. You're making me the adult in this situation. If you offered me something constructive for a change, then that would be a lot better. Richard, constructive? Louis, but you don't. Richard, I can't win because if I am not bringing the money in, if I'm not holding the fort in that respect. Louis, bringing the money in? Richard, I get stick. Louis, what is this? Richard, you want me to come home? I have been up since half six. You want me to come in and then you want me to be the ballet of the ball and have the conversation and kind of. Richard, Susie. Richard, you said two things. One is you don't have a way into Isaac, and two, you have no idea what is going on with Louis, and you don't really get what she wants. The two of you having a slang match about it is not going to make you find that out. Every new parent has a hard time unless they are from a huge family and they have done a lot of parenting. It is a whole new challenge, and some of the questions are how can you be a dad? How does that mean? What does that mean? And how can you be a partner? Because your mom, who was your mom and dad, so to speak, didn't have a partner, and you don't have a picture of more than one person being engaged with a child. You don't have it inside of you. Louis, and I think you're probably very upset that Louis isn't there all the time because you want her there for you. Louis. Susie. So you are getting hit from both sides, not knowing how to get in there with her or Isaac. Richard. Yeah, maybe you are right. Susie. Could you think about this little fellow and you? Richard. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. Of course, he's. Susie. Tell me about him. Richard. Yeah, he's well. He's a real looker, isn't he? Louis. Yeah. Richard. He's a real looker. Doesn't look like me. That's for sure. Big blue eyes. Louis laughs. Richard. I mean, he's a little bit of the on the chubby side. She could feed him a bit less, but I'm not being overly. Louis. Oh, shut up. Laughs. Richard. Well, you could. I mean, last. You don't want a. You don't know what I mean. Well, we don't want him to get fat, do we? No, anyway. Louis. He's 10 months old, Richard. Richard. Nah, he's got a beautiful smile, hasn't he? Louis. Yeah, he has. Richard. Yeah. Susie. How does he make you feel? Richard. Well, I don't know. A mixture of things. Like, I love him, but I also feel slightly intimidated by him. And I'm afraid he's so fragile. Sometimes I don't know if I'm going to. Do you know what I mean? Louis. Someone said to me that they're indestructible, and that was really useful. They said that really early on, and I keep thinking about that. Richard. They? Who's they? Louis. Well, I can't remember. It was someone at the hospital or at the antenatal group. Richard. All right. Louis. But oh, sorry, that kid is destructible. Richard. I don't agree. Louis. And the babies are indestructible. Richard. But they are not indestructible. Louis. Well, they pretty much are. I mean. Richard. Well, they are not. I'm clocking Richard's concern that in his bewilderment and frustration, he might fear that he could hurt the baby. Susie. Okay, But let's go back to, because you're talking about the feelings that any parent would have, thinking about the fragility and the preciousness of the and the delicacy and the needing to get to know the person. Rachad, yeah, Susie. And how, as you say, if you're not with them, it can feel intimidating and you can't know how your hands are going to sit around them and hold them. Richard, yeah, exactly. I don't feel like me and Isaac are in tune at the moment. Susie, so when you get up in the morning, where is he? Louis, he's in the cot by the bed. Susie, by the bed. Richard, yeah. Louis, on my side. Susie, all right. Louis, because I feed him, so it's easier for me. Susie, okay, and how would it be if after you fed him, Richard had him for a bit in the morning? Could you manage that, Louis? Louis, well, I could manage that, but Richard. Susie, you have a shower, you leave them to it, you don't engage, you separate yourself out. You don't survey, you don't make sure he's doing right, you let him figure it out. Louis, okay, we could try it. Richard, we'll try that. Susie, 20 minutes or so. Louis, yeah, he would have to wind him though, but yeah. Richard, wind him? Louis, yeah. Richard, what, you mean pat him? Pat him on the back? Louis, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah. Susie, yeah, but what do you feel when I say this? When I make that suggestion? Louis, I do feel a bit clingy towards the baby. And I also feel that I would really like to spend more time together as a family, but I understand the step towards doing that is for Richard and Isaac to have more one on one time, so that seems a constructive way. Can I also say, though, as well, I find the mornings really difficult because I miss Richard in the mornings, because the mornings before we had a baby, before I was pregnant, it was always a time that we would be intimate, and that's gone. And by the night time, I'm so exhausted, and oh, we have probably had an argument, so that isn't going to happen by the night time. So I feel that Richard, yeah. Louis, I don't feel particularly precious. I feel needy in the mornings as well, I think. Susie, uh-huh. Pause. Is it strange for you to hear that actually Louis misses you too? Richard, yeah, because it doesn't, you know, Susie, doesn't come across. Richard, doesn't come across. Susie, okay, so she's saying it now. Richard, yeah, right. Louis, because I do really want to make it work. Richard, yeah. Louis, and I think we can. But I feel sometimes that you don't think that I'm not on your side, but I am. But I have to protect myself as well. And if I need to go back to work because it's a really good opportunity, then I want you to support me in doing that. And when you don't, I just find it really unattractive. Richard, I get what you are saying. I do understand what you are saying, and maybe I'm a bit old fashioned, or can be. Susie, I think you could be using old fashioned because you have got these difficult feelings about not knowing how to do it and feeling left out and missing Louis and not realizing that she misses you and not being a little bit frightened on this little bundle and what to do. So I think that is a way of describing all those feelings. And when you, Richard, yeah, maybe. The thing is, I get in. I feel like I am in these cycles and the cycles are getting longer, whereas before I would get in a headspace and it would be, 4 or 5 days of feeling a bit down, a bit depressed, and then it would pass. Whereas I feel like the cycles of feeling in that headspace are getting longer and longer. Louis, are you saying you're depressed? Richard, well, I don't know if I'm depressed, but I can't tell from Richard's tone how serious this is. The words in themselves are concerning, but they are delivered nonchalantly. Susie, is it confusion and neglect and not knowing how to spend time together? Louis, you have taken to parenting much more easily because you are at home and you are breastfeeding and you had the support, and it's very hard to know how you're going to have time except doing something at the weekend when you know the baby is napping because they know nap. Louis, Richard, yeah, it is so. Yeah, it's like military, isn't it? It's just like so many routines. Susie, yeah. Richard, it's just like life becomes a routine and you are just trying to be a person in and around the routines. You don't feel like a person anymore. I just feel like it's alarm clocks, it's kind of spreadsheets and, getting up, going to bed. Louis, but they all say that it's the best way to do it. Susie, The more engaged that Richard is in being with Isaac, the more it will bring you something rather than just feel like it is taking something away. Lewis. Richard, yeah. Susie. Because right now you are in the alarm clocks as opposed to the richness of, oh, this lovely person who is ours, who we are nurturing. It is a terribly difficult adjustment. Lois. Richard. But I just guess I'm, a little bit concerned about maybe repeating the way my father just ran away from the situation. I feel like I'm starting to understand a little bit more maybe why he did that. In a way, I can see how a man can feel marginalized in his own family. I'm not justifying why he left, but yeah, I mean, I guess I have been reflecting on that. Susie, that's so helpful, Richard, to know what's going on inside you, because that gives you some space to think, to let Louis know how difficult that is and how the two of you can make it possible. Because both of you have given up things. Louis has to give up the total control in order to find a way to let Richard in. Louis. Mm. Richard. Because the thing is, I wasn't really going to say it, but I had a moment on the building site last week. I didn't really want to say anything because, I didn't know if it was grounds for, like, I don't know what the procedures are, which is why I thought some one on one time could be good. But yeah, I don't know, I just had a bit of urge to do something and I was quite worried about that. Susie. Uh huh. Louis, like what? Richard. I don't know, I was just stood there thinking, how would it be if I just jumped out of the window, to be fair. Susie, so you're feeling really helpless. Richard, yeah, I just thought, I don't know. I just thought, yeah, I just kind of had the urge to, but I mean, I didn't, but I just had a moment. Louis, but you can't do that. Susie, Louis, I imagine it's hard to try and listen to how pushed out and even desperate Richard feels. This sounds similar to before. Richard has a very dramatic way of expressing things. I hear what he's saying as a request, or it's an ask of how do I get that? How do I make this? How do I connect with Isaac? How do I connect with Louis? Richard, you think that will make maybe stop that kind of feeling? Stop that feeling in the void? Bring me back to something? Lois misses what Richard is saying, but she is able to share some of what is important to her. Lois, well, I find it difficult to relate to, but because I don't feel at the moment I have an option to leave. I understand, Susie. I understand, Lois, that you are full up here, and now you are hearing that Richard doesn't know how to be there, and part of you wants him to be there. Lois, yes, and it's only a part because sometimes I feel that I can't take on any more needs. Susie, uh huh. Lois, I feel spent most of the time. Work is different. Work has given me something other. In fact, it has given me emotional respite, so I suppose that's why I need it. And I want to pursue it. Well, okay, what do you think? Richard, I mean, Lois, what do you think? Richard, well, I'll take the Friday off. I'll take the Friday off, and Lois, well, could you do that? Richard, yeah, I could take the Friday off, and Lois, but really think about it because I don't want you to just say it here and not having thought it through. But if you could do that, I would make sure to give Isaac to you for that day. Richard, yeah, Lois, and then you get the bonding time with him. But would you really do that? Richard, well, yeah, I said I would, didn't I? Susie, may I make a small suggestion? Apart from the early morning, that for 2 weeks you take a half day off and then you go to the full day because it's a lot. Louis, Richard, yeah. Susie, and you might feel safer. Richard, so what? See how we go? I mean, what are we going to do? You have got a promotion. Louis, well, that wouldn't start for 6 weeks anyway, so you have got 6 weeks left in which to build some. Susie, you mean because you would be around, but you would go off for some of the time? Louis, I could leave you for perhaps this week for a couple of hours on Friday morning and I'll go out. I'll go out of the house. All right, Richard, all right. Louis, for 2 hours. Susie, I don't know whether you want to come back together. I think it would be preferable. Richard, yeah. Louis. Susie. And I think it would be good to be able to track how this affects you, because actually it is about you as a family as well as your own individual things. Louis. Yeah, I think that's one of the problems at the moment. I don't feel we have quite got the family. Susie. Okay. So we want to try and get that in train. And in a way, we need some evidences of what it is like for you to spend time with Isaac. Richard. Yeah, that needs to happen. I need to build something with him, because at the moment I'm not really sure whether this is going to be possible. Susie. Of course. Richard. Well, I'm sure it will be possible, but the way I'm feeling at the moment, certain things come out for me. I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit concerned about my feelings towards him, and I shouldn't be having those kind of feelings towards my own son. Louis. No. Richard. So, Susie. Yeah, but what's important is that you have been frank. And these are the things that we can talk about together. And if it's right that you will need one on one, we'll figure that out. But in the short term, I think we need you to be engaged with this little boy. Louis. Richard. Yeah. Susie. With this little baby, actually, because the sooner you get to know him, the bigger the difference, and I think it will shift things. So let's meet very soon and let's have had a little bit of experiment in between. Louis. I didn't know what to do with him when he was first born, and I only know what to do with him a bit more because I have spent more time with him. Susie. Yes, that is very, very valuable for Richard to know. Louis. Richard. I know. Susie. Because it doesn't come without spending time. Richard. Yeah, I'll get one of them things. What do they call it? A little strap on thing? Susie. Yeah. Richard. And take him out with me? Louis. We have got one actually. Richard. Take him to the Louis to the porch. Richard. Teach him how to play snooker and all that stuff. Susie. Exactly. So, Richard. Sort him out. Susie. Okay, all right. So I can see you next Monday if you can both find the time. Louis. Can you do that? Richard. Yeah, yeah. I'll sort out the. I mean, I'm the boss, right? Susie. Yeah, you're the boss. Richard. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, sure. Susie. Okay. Richard. All right. Thanks very much, Susie. Susie. Where's the picture? Louis. Oh, sorry. Have you got one? Richard. Oh dear. Well, you have got a few on the iPhone, haven't you? Louis. Yeah, hang on. Richard. On the old iPhone? Louis. Here we go. It's the thighs I like. Susie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yum. Squidge. Gosh, he's so gorgeous. Richard. All right. See you. Thanks for that. Louis. Thank you. The session starts with complaint, alienation, frustration, and disconnection. Lois is in a bubble with Isaac, Richard's mom, and work. She is missing Richard, but she is also resentful and yet excited about the new work possibilities. Richard is troubled and left out. He doesn't know how to get into the family and he's scared and depressed. He wavers between feeling pushed out and feeling that he has lost Lois. The dynamic of the man feeling pushed out and neglected and the woman coping is not so unusual in the first year of becoming parents, especially as Louis has Richard's mom to help. The hope is that by encouraging Richard to come in, he will connect to Isaac and Louis, and his sense of utility and attachment will be transformed. For him to do so requires Louis to let go a bit, and there is a hope that they can find a way enriching their relationship as they begin to coalesce as a parenting couple. Richard's request for one-on-one session because of his fear of suicide or leaving is concerning and will be addressed. I don't sufficiently do so in this session, but I am hoping that what they have heard and said to each other will mean that his desperation dissipates somewhat. But I am mindful that his worries about himself need tending to, perhaps in sessions just for himself. That brings us to the end of their case. It was interesting. It was very common theme that was discussed and nice, very nicely done. If you have any suggestions, any questions, feedback, recommendations, anything at all, you can reach out to me in the comment section of the video you're viewing or in the community section of the YouTube channel. I will be ending the stream. We will read the next case of John in the next reading. Bye bye for now. Take care and keep reading. Bye.